Okay, as I told you before, the Image Dynamics IDQ8 is totally crafted in America. Not only is it crafted in America, it has a very special feature that some of you might find interesting. I'm finna find out for myself for the first time. This subwoofer can be reconed with no glue. It has screws behind the gasket and screws on the spotter landing. And all you have to do is unscrew these jokers and out comes the soft parts, and then we get to see the inside. So that's what we're gonna do right now in this video. I'm finna to see what nothing's wrong with the sub. I just want to see what they're talking about. How can you recone the sub with no glue? So I'm gonna take all these screws out that they have here. Regular screwdriver, Phillips. Set them right here. Just going around. And I noticed, I gotta tell y'all this, when you get the IDQ, when you mount it, it has inside the gasket, inside the box, it has some gaskets. When I first mounted the sub, I did not use any of those gaskets. So it was making this weird noise, and I thought the sub was a dud. Coming to find out, I noticed, I said, man, wait, I've heard that noise before. The box is leaking here somewhere. I do not know where. So I put my hand around the speaker itself, and I felt the wind rushing. And I said, oh, well, there's my answer right there. So what I did was, I took the woofer back out of the box and went and got the gaskets. And when I went and got the gaskets and put the gaskets on, then y'all see what happened. The bass was incredible. This is the best sounding 8 I've heard in a long time. Last time I seen the 8 sound this well was J Audio, and you know I tell y'all all the time, I'm Fosgate boy as far as amps. You know, I love and respect the audio for what they do. Some people say, well, that's a little too pricey. Yeah, they are, but you paying for a quality that really and truly is unsurpassed. But so these screws are in there pretty tight. I was really surprised about the performance of this, particularly when you looked at how the softer suspension is. But then I was looking, as I was pushing in, I was actually looking myself at it, and that spider is, it was traveling. Now this is, like I said, remember I tell you, this is a totally made in America. Image Dynamics, completely made in America. And this is a very unique feature that they were doing. Like, now remember, this IDQ8 has been out for quite some time. This is not a new subwoofer. This IDQ version 4 has been out for a while. When I say while, meaning a couple of years. So way before some other companies that are using the same idea. I don't even think they have it down at this point as good as the Image Dynamics. Now mind you, I told you this is a completely made in America subwoofer. So we have taken out all the screws, and supposedly I'm able to lift this entire subwoofer out of the gap. And let me make sure I ain't gonna tear nothing up on my subwoofer. Oh. Am I missing the screw somewhere? It is no glue necessary. Completely bolt down. So you get to see how they did the cone. It has the cone. The back of the cone has gaps in. I don't know if y'all could see that with the camera. Oh, you see you see the little gaps right there. To force air over the former, which forces air over the coil. And I know y'all heard me pop it yesterday. I can feel it right there, but other than that, it's fine. This is a flat round coil. So you can recone this joker in the field. So you would, I guess, to put it back together, you would just put this here. All right. Oh man, this is. Oh man, look. Oh, check out the triple joint. The triple joint's plastic and glued there. This is some technology in this joker. Look at that. This is some serious technology here. All right. And then we see the top of the pole. I guess you could take the basket off if you wanted to, but I don't see why. But you could take this sub. You're right. So it took me, what, 5 minutes to take it off? And let's see, we put it back together. Ooh, look at, ooh, dude, this thing, it's form of suction. It's, look, watch this. You see a little effort to pull it off. Ooh, Lord, yeah, did you see that? Did y'all see that? So I push down, and now there's a suction. I use some effort to pull this bitch off, so I'm going to get some air off of it. Did y'all see that, man? Check it out. It's feeling fine. I can pull it off like this, right? Boom. Now if I push down, it creates enough suction and force. Yeah. Now I don't want to release it, so I'm gonna take it to the edge of the table to get the air out. That's amazing. Oh man, Image Dynamics. That is amazing. What get me is this sub is nothing but 150. 100 and. Make sure I get these grooves where they need to be. So I would guess the big grooves are here. Make sure I get the grooves. Do I want to put it there? Or do I want to put the grooves here? Let me see. Here? That doesn't seem necessarily right. They're not all the same. Okay. Yeah, no. Make sure I get this. I think that's better. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you put it like, okay, you can tell by looking at it exactly where you're supposed to put it at. So after you do that, you got it. Oh. The basket tells you where to send it. I didn't call them or nothing. I just want to see if I could do it yourself. So pretty much follow the let the whoop and put the man there you bounce. Pop. We'll solve that problem. It just pops right back in. And then I guess you put the gasket on over the hose till it just popped. Bam. This is my first time with no instructions. Okay, now I know that came off the spotter landing, and these came off the basket itself. So now that I got it on there, and it has centered itself, then I guess I would turn it back upside down. And just screw it back together. No, that's not it. Okay. These over here. So once you get one hole, then we just. So I screw these off. So I put this on. This is very, man, I wish a lot of companies would use this technology. A lot. I don't know if they would have to ask Image Dynamics for, I guess, the right to do it. Because I'm pretty sure this is licensed to their, well, the licensing would be the problem. Will they give up the licensing to enable other manufacturers to copy it? There's no glue needed. So basically it's a gasket. Basically it's a gasket. The surround, everything is a gasket. Oh my God. So I'm just trying to make sure I don't strip my bolts out when I put it back together. And I did separate. I would advise you, I mean, it made common sense to me when I took the bolts out that belong to the surround, and then the bolts that belong to the spider. The bolts that belong to the spider are significantly bigger than the bolts that belong there. And this is a regular screws. No glue needed. This is a very interesting feature. And from what I read on the box, this is on the 8s, 10s, and 12s. This feature right here. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is put the screws. I got a magnetic tip on my screwdriver, so I'm gonna put this out. This might prove to be interesting. This. I just took my finger and screwed that. For a sound quality driver, you wouldn't think it would be this easy to take. I mean, JL don't even have this technology. This is amazing. And so you would screw it in just like you do a. Can you imagine being out? Can you imagine while I blew my subwoofer? Can anybody recone it? Because that's all you did was damage the soft parts. The motor in the basket will always be fine. You just need to change the soft parts. The motor in the basket helps with the FS. I mean, the basket helps with the FS. The motor just moves the MMS, the soft parts, based on the alternating current. So you can never really destroy a subwoofer. You just have damaged the soft parts. So if you change off the soft parts, your subwoofer would be back up and running. And Image Dynamics has enabled you to do just that. Coming up on 15 minutes. And if that's factor on 15 minutes to do a recone, when in actuality, to actually do a recone subwoofer with glue and shims and all that, we talk about maybe a 2-hour process. And if I had knew exactly what I needed to do, I could have been done way before 15 minutes. No having to prep the landing, spider landing, and none of that. Just unscrew it and screw it back in. This is some awesome technology. If I would have not been talking to you guys and just doing it, I could have had this done in what, 10 minutes? If that. Just try to make sure I don't strip my voice, my bones, so I just press down real hard. It centers itself. Oh man, this is amazing. And I'm pretty sure they probably send you the bolts out too with the kit, the Recone kit. So 15 minutes, and it's back. Do you hear anything? It is completely back. Unique feature of the Image Dynamics IDQ8, totally made in America sub. Check it out.